Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I have a propagation video for you as I am going to go in and propagate my beautiful Hoya carnosa, which is a gift I got from one of my viewers when I visited her home. And well, I got this beautiful water propagation from her that I put in a pot, and it has just taken off and just done so well for me, and it's very, very happy. And I want to make this into a bigger, bushier plant rather than being long vines trailing around all over, because that's what I saw at my viewer's home. She had these big mounds of this plant growing in pots and it just looked gorgeous. So I want to recreate that same effect. So what I'm going to do is unwind these vines that I've got going on in this pot, and I'm going to be water propagating them, and I'm going to show you exactly how you propagate this type of Hoya. So the first thing I'm going to do, just so that I don't get water all over the place, is I'm going to remove this vase and put it down on the side for a moment so I can bring this plant a little bit more to the middle. And I'm going to cut off the vines from the little wooden sticks that I've put it on in the middle here. Relieve it of those again. And see how long each of these vines are. As I remember, they were actually quite long. So I can unwind them carefully again from around each other. Take the sticks out. Don't need those in the way anymore. Put those to the side. Another one here. Take that out to the side. And then I've got my vines here. Now, as you can see, I have two long vines. Well, I have one here. No, I have three vines. I can see another one around this one here. So how did that get all the way around like that? Right. So that is a separate vine. So I've got one long separate vine here that is actually already snapped. So it's good. Oh, that was already snapped. So it was good that I came in to do that one. And that was perfect because I wanted to cut it back to there anyway. Then I have this one and I have this one. So they're really perfect for propagating. They've got a lot of root bumps along the stems all the way along already. So that is really, really good. So the first thing I'm going to do is go right down into the bottom and prune this off where I want to take the whole vine off. And then I can bring them closer to the camera to show you where I'm going to be pruning them in between each segment of leaves to make new plants. So we get down to the bottom, just above the two leaves that are at the bottom, and cut that piece off, if I can get in there. So now I've got this piece. I'll just lay that at the front for now. And then I have this one here with lovely big leaves down here, so I can cut this all the way down to the bottom as well. That one too, so that's two. And I still have this beautiful bush of a plant here. And then I have this one here that I also want to cut back to keep it in the shape of the pot. Or maybe I don't, because yeah, I do. Because I've got two big leaves at the bottom. So I can cut that off. This is just a little piece, and that is still viable. So now I'm going to bring this plant in close to the camera so you can see how much I have left in the original pot here. And it's still quite full, I think. And then this will flush out new vines and thicken out. And that is just what I want. And then I'll have all the other cuttings to make into new propagations in a moment. So let's have a look at this one closer up. So look at this little plant. You can hardly see that anything's happened. It's lost the height, but it's still got so many of its beautiful leaves here at the bottom that it's really not noticeable from the one side here especially. Look at all these leaves. Look at that closer up. Isn't it lovely still? So there's no problem going in and pruning this plant back because I still have a pot full that looks lovely, that I can put above my workstation where I can still look at it and enjoy it. What a lovely plant. So now I got that done, I will bring in the propagations and show you exactly where I go and prune in between each leaf segment to make propagations. So I'm just going to start off by showing you this first one here. As you can see, this is 2 leaves and a little amount of stem, and that is still viable to go into water and it will produce roots and become a lovely new plant in its own right. So that's wonderful. And here I have the first vine. And when I'm doing this, it's very important for me to remember which way is up and which way is down. Because if you, for example, should put this in soil the wrong way round, then it's not going to root for you. So you need to put it in the right way round. And also when propagating in water, it's a good idea to put it the right way round. So now, when you propagate a Hoya, you want to leave as much of the stem underneath a pair of leaves as possible, because this plant produces roots all the way along this stem, this vine here, all the way up to under the leaf joint, these 2 leaves. So that is one beautiful, viable plant. So we will go in and we will just prune the stem that's above the 2 leaves. And I will show you. That is now one wonderful, beautiful, viable propagation with the ability for lots of roots to come along the stem and 2 beautiful leaves to start it off. So that's number 1 on this vine. So now, so that I don't get them the wrong way around or anything, I'm going to put these straight into the water for now, but I'm going to be tying them together to make it easier for me to keep them together in the water in a moment. But I just want to keep cutting the segments on this plant for now to make my new plant. So this one is actually snapped halfway there, but I need to cut it between the 2 leaves here. So that is number 2 into the water. Then, as I said, this one was a little bit snapped here at the bottom, so I'm going to have to cut a little bit of that off. Oh, that flew away. And then there's one little tiny leaf here, but I'm going to make that into one little separate plant anyway. I'm going to have to put that one into a little tiny pot on its own because it's not very long, but it's still very viable. So we'll put that on the side. And then I have these ones here. Look at this leaf. It has a slightly different shape. Very nice. That is also going to go in for propagation. And it's got all of this stem, so it's perfect. So we cut that just above the leaf. And also, this piece here, you don't throw that away. That has also got root bobbles on it, I can see here. So the whole thing is viable to produce roots and a new plant. So I'm actually going to cut that into 2 more pieces and I will put that into propagate as well. The more roots you get, the more plant you get, right? So there we go. I just need to make sure I remember to keep them the right way around. So that one can go in the water, and I'll put these stems down the bottom for a minute so I remember. So here, one more vine with more of these stems. So as I said, go in between a leaf, go to the next leaf above that, and prune there, and above the next leaf, and prune there. So from this segment, I got 4 pieces of Hoya to propagate. And now look at this beautiful piece here. Look at the amount of leaves this one plant is going to have on its own straight away. Look at those leaves. They're just absolutely gorgeous. You can understand why it's called wax plant and porcelain flower. Beautiful Hoya carnosa. So this one has all that stem to produce roots and lots of leaves. So that is going to be an absolutely beautiful plant. So we cut there. Wow. I am really pleased with the look of that plant already. Gorgeous, gorgeous plant. And then, so I can put this one actually straight into my vase for a minute. And then I have the next one here. So again, prune it just above the leaf. Hold that. Next section, prune it just above the leaf. And there we go. I've got 3 more sections out of this too. So this has just been a raging Hoya propagation success. Lots of new plants. So to make it easier for me when I'm going to be propagating these in the water, I'm going to just tie a few plants together. So these ones, these little thin ones here as well. Tie some of these together so it's just easier to get them to stand up in the water vase. So just get yourself some normal twine that is biodegradable and put that around and then tie your bundle together. So you can see here I've tied this bundle of vines together, and that's just to keep this stable in the water propagation. All the little thin pieces, and every single one of these is going to get roots and be able to be potted around in a slightly larger pot so I can get myself that mountain of a plant that I am dreaming of. So that was the first bundle. So now I'm going to take the rest of these Hoya out of here for a minute and put them down here at the front. This first bundle in, and because they're tied together, I know they're not going to fall down into the vase all the way down to the bottom. They'll be held up and their roots can grow into the water. So we'll get a couple more and put them into another bundle. Let's have a look what we have here. I've got this one and this one and this one. Oh, that one stayed there. She needs to stay there, looking beautiful at the front, right? So now I've got these ones. I will just bundle these 3 together, twine around, twist it around a few times so you've got them together, and then just make yourself a knot. Very easy. Bundle number 2 done, and into the water, just like that. This one that was big doesn't need to be bundled with anything. That can just go in on its own. So we'll just put that in there. And then I have a little bundle here of some that aren't very big. They need to be bundled together. Get them. Make sure all are down. Twine around and twine them up. Just like this, round and round and round. And then make a little knot. I will bring them in closer to show you when I've finished. I just want to get them bundled up first. So, that one's bundled. And as I said, I do have a couple that I'm going to have to put into another vase. And actually, this last one that I just put in, I don't know if that can reach down. Oh, yes, it can. Right, so now that I've done that, I've bundled them. I'm just going to bring this in closer so you can see what I've done. So here we go. This is my water propagation vase. Make sure that when you're propagating these plants in water, that the water is room temperature, and just check the water. Make sure it's not slimy or gungy or brown or dirty. You can go in and change the water. Probably around every 3 days or so would be a good idea to go in and put fresh water in, and that will also oxygenate the water for the plants as well. So when I was talking about the bundling, here we go. I have this little bundle here. These weren't very big, so if I tried to just put those in the vase, they would be flopping around all over the place. They could fall right down into the water, and any leaves that get into the water will rot and you will lose your propagations. The leaves need to be kept out of the water all the time. So this was perfect as a bundle. And then I had these 2 bundles here. I'll take them out one at a time now then. So then I had a bundle here. This bundle, absolutely gorgeous, together. And then I had this bundle, absolutely gorgeous and together. So you can see 2 bundles here. And then this big one that doesn't need to be bundled because it has 4 leaves and it's holding itself up and it looks wonderful. So now these are all ready to just be left in this water for as long as it takes for them to grow roots, which is probably only a couple of weeks. In bright, indirect light, these will produce roots in a couple of weeks. So now I can just keep an eye on these beautiful plants, because I'm telling you, within a couple of weeks, there will be roots and I'll be watching them grow out in this vase, and it's going to be wonderful, and I'm going to be able to get myself a slightly larger terracotta pot and plant all of these in together in the same pot with the mother plant that I have now, and make myself a bushy mound. And when they start growing tendrils out and growing longer, I can go in and prune and do the same process and make myself another plant. Oh, this is just wonderful. This is just so wonderful. Look how much you can get out of your Hoyas. They're amazing plants, easy plants to propagate. So just look at that. Look how easy it is to propagate Hoya carnosa. This is a beautiful plant. I will have lots more segments soon, lots more baby plants. I didn't even count how many I got, but I had lots. And I will be able to reintroduce all of this into either a slightly larger pot, or I might let this one just fill out on its own and then put all of these into another pot on their own and make. But at first, I really do want to keep all these together and make myself a beautiful big plant, because I want that big mound. Because that just looked absolutely gorgeous when I saw it. So this mother plant is absolutely fine. These ends will callus over very quickly and it will just carry on as it is, and I can just enjoy watching these roots come out on these cuttings now, which I will be keeping in a very bright window, indirect light, keeping it very clean. Make sure you just watch it and keep it as clean as possible. If the water looks fine, you don't have to go and mess with it. It's only if you really see it starts browning, or if you see anything is starting to get rot or anything like that, then you need to go in and sort out the stems and clean them out. But just keep this plant in room temperature water, keep it in bright condition, indirect sunlight, and then it will be very happy. Spray the leaves over, they do like humidity, and then the plant is going to be wonderful for you. So that's all I have for you for this propagation video of my Hoya carnosa. In a few weeks we'll have an update where I'll be able to show you the root systems and me planting this plant up to make myself the big beautiful plant that I have been talking about all the way through the video. So if you have a Hoya at home that's got long and it's got leggy and it's got lots of vines and you don't know what to do, get in there just as I showed you and prune your plant back, and you will have lots of lovely new plants to make yourself a more compact plant rather than one that's vining all over the place if it's starting to look too leggy or anything like that. So thank you once again for watching Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be uploaded, and I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.